I have a question for you. What is the name of Doc Brown's dog in Back to the Future? Hi, I'm Mark Ellison from 5 Daily Trivia Questions. 5 questions, 5 answers, and maybe you'll learn something amazing along the way. The number 5. 5 Daily Trivia Questions. Oh, and the answer? Doc Brown's dog's name is Einstein. 5 Daily Trivia Questions.
It is the world's most secretive election. When a pope dies, ancient traditions begin. A silver hammer, a destroyed ring, over 100 cardinals locked away from the world, choosing the next leader of 1 billion faithful. White smoke. The path to a new pope, from Calaroga Shark Media, wherever you get your podcasts.
Calaroga Shark Media.
From Toronto, where maple syrup dealers are now working the same street corners as drug dealers, this is Ballot.
Hey kid, want some grade A medium amber?
Let's hit this.
First drizzle's free. Let's hit this. Hello, I'm Patrick Gutfield, and grab your wallets, everyone. Trump just went full Home Alone 2 and said, "Keep the change, you filthy NAFTA." He's slapping 25% tariffs on basically everything from Canada and Mexico, and 10% on China because, hey, why not make shopping more exciting? Now, when Trump says he's doing this to stop drugs and immigration, it's kind of like using a flamethrower to make toast. Sure, you'll get warm bread, but you're also setting your kitchen on full economic fire. And these aren't your run-of-the-mill tariffs. We're talking about countries that send us more than a third of our stuff. The experts, those nerdy types who actually study this for a living, are saying prices are about to go up faster than a Canadian's blood pressure when you tell them their maple syrup is too expensive. Speaking of Canada, Justin Trudeau is threatening to hit back by targeting very specific American products. They're going after Florida orange juice, Tennessee whiskey, and Kentucky peanut butter. That's not random. That's like your ex knowing exactly which photos to untag you in on Facebook. And Mexico? Well, President Sheinbaum is probably wondering if she can send Trump an invoice for that wall he keeps talking about. Because now it's going to cost 25% more to build it with Mexican steel. That's what we call irony, kids. But here's the kicker. Trump added a little no backsies clause saying if these countries retaliate, we'll raise the tariffs even more. It's like the international trade equivalent of I'm rubber, you're glue. Except in this version, everybody's wallet gets stuck. Let me bring in James here to explain this to us. James, what the hell is going on?
This is a massive shift in trade policy. We're looking at 25% tariffs on Canadian and Mexican goods, 10% on Chinese imports. The numbers are staggering.
You know what really gets me? The immediacy of it all. These tariffs kick in at 12:01 a.m. Tuesday, and suddenly everything from avocados to automobiles could spike in price. The S&P Global Economists are particularly worried about specific sectors: farming, fishing, metal production, auto manufacturing.
Well, speaking of automobiles, Mexico's auto and electric equipment sectors are especially vulnerable here.
How long until your average American feels the pain in the wallet?
That's where it gets interesting. Professor Felix Tintelnot from Duke says we're looking at different timelines for different products. Groceries could spike within weeks, but bigger purchases like cars might take longer because of existing inventory. The energy sector impact is particularly concerning. 60% of US oil imports come from Canada, and even with the lower 10% tariff on Canadian energy, that's going to hit hard. Especially in the Midwest, where refineries are heavily dependent on Canadian oil. But here's what fascinates me: the psychology of how companies might handle this. Some will pass costs directly to consumers, others might absorb them. And then there's this concept of opportunistic pricing.
What exactly do you mean by opportunistic pricing?
Well, when companies use tariffs as an excuse to raise prices even more than necessary. Like if their costs go up 10%, they might raise prices 15% and blame it all on the tariffs.
That's pretty sneaky. and hard for consumers to verify too.
And then there's the international response, which is just brilliant in its precision. Canada's not just retaliating randomly. They're targeting specific products like Florida orange juice, Tennessee whiskey, and Kentucky peanut butter. It's like economic acupuncture.
The political calculation there is pretty clever. They're clearly choosing products from politically significant states. The timing of all this seems particularly challenging for the economy.
Exactly. And what's really striking is how this affects tens of millions of American jobs connected to trade with these countries. We're not just talking about abstract economic concepts. These are real people's livelihoods at stake.
Thanks, James. I appreciate you coming in on a Sunday morning. Meanwhile, you're going to love this one. Our new press secretary, Caroline Leavitt, is scrambling to explain why egg prices are sunny side not down. During her first press briefing, and you've got to appreciate the irony of discussing eggs during your debut, Leavitt tried to lay these high prices at Biden's doorstep. She suggested Biden was probably upstairs sleeping while egg prices rose 65%. Now that's what I call a breakfast in bed situation. You know what's really cracking me up? Trump promised to fix egg prices immediately on day one. Day one. As if he could just walk into the Oval Office and declare, eggs, you're fired from being expensive. That's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. But here's the real yoke. Sorry, joke. Leavitt's blaming Biden for euthanizing 100 million chickens during a bird flu outbreak. That's like blaming your doctor for giving you medicine when you're sick. These aren't political chickens. They don't care who's president when they get the flu. The American Egg Board, which is apparently a real thing and not just a group of breakfast enthusiasts, says we're stuck with these prices for a while. So unless Trump can convince these chickens to start working overtime, we might all need to start considering less expensive breakfast options. So Elon Musk, the guy who bought Twitter just to rename it after his favorite letter of the alphabet, is now sleeping at his government office. That's right. The man worth hundreds of billions of dollars is choosing to crash on a federal floor instead of the historic Lincoln bedroom. You know things are getting weird when the richest person on earth is basically living like a college student during finals week. He's there at the Department of Government Efficiency because apparently everything in his life has to reference cryptocurrency somehow. And get this, his security detail has to escort him to the bathroom. I mean, when you're worth that much money, I guess even your bathroom breaks need their own motorcade. This is the same move he pulled at Tesla and Twitter. Sorry, X. Remember when he bought Twitter and immediately started sleeping there? It was like the world's most expensive sleepover. Except instead of pizza and movies, it was just Musk pacing around at 3 a.m. tweeting about cryptocurrency. Portions of today's program were made with the help of AI, a smart-sounding British dude, and Trump's tariffs.
It is the world's most secretive election. When a pope dies, ancient traditions begin. A silver hammer, a destroyed ring, over 100 cardinals locked away from the world, choosing the next leader of 1 billion faithful. White Smoke. The Path to a New Pope, from Calaroga Shark Media, wherever you get your podcasts.